Blazing the steel. Bring the heat. Mix it non-stop. With the hottest DJ.
I'm your host, Joshua Dees.
Non-stop.
Grandpa Joe, man, that guy's.
Good morning or afternoon, where I'm at, it's morning, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. Thank you for making the lab part of your day. We're going to do the little morning drive. I know a lot of people are on the East Coast, so, you know, they're already there. And if you live in California, you probably don't work on Friday. That's a kind of a common thing around here. But, you know, I know we got a lot of people from Texas. I'm sure everybody in Texas is working. And I want to give a shout out to one of our terrific mods, Teresa, who is under the weather. So if you could please keep her in your thoughts and prayers, that is always appreciated. And I know how you guys are, show so much love. And so just wanted to throw that out there. So good morning. I hope everybody made it to their destinations. I had a rough start of it this morning. You know, that happens. One thing I've never experienced, though, while I was getting my coffee was the fact that I thought that you have to ask for whipped cream. And I never ask for whipped cream on any drink that I ever get. Ever. Never. I like whipped cream, like on pumpkin pie. I like whipped cream on like strawberry shortcake. I do not like whipped cream on my coffee, ever. Never, ever, ever. And especially an Americano. I don't get it. So I get whipped cream. I get whipped cream, and then I get the dreaded dome cup lid. The dreaded dome cup lid. Immediately, I'm not happy. You know, and I was really, really pumped because the Starbucks here is like the line is huge, and so I rarely go there, but I like their coffee. I think that they have decent coffee. And you know, it was just a rough start. People get Fridays off. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I here we go. I have my coffee, but um I have trouble saying holding up the line because the line's long. So I committed. I was just like, you know what? I'm here. The line is long, but I'm committed to this. I'm very, very committed to getting this coffee. And so I'm, waiting, and I'm super, super excited. Like, God, I'm going to start my Friday off, right? I'm going to get a Starbucks, um, Americano. I like the taste of their plain coffee. It's good. Pumped. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there waiting. I'm half awake. The line's moving pretty well. Things are happening. Things are moving. We're shaking. And goodness gracious, I get I get up. I'm like 2 cars away, and the lady's handing the drinks out the window. And I pull up and I see her getting ready to hand my cup out the window. And I see this dome cup with whipped cream in it. And I'm thinking, this can't be my order. There's no way this can be my order, folks. No chance. The lady says, here is your coffee. And I take it. And I'm just like, I want to say, I want to say, why is there whipped cream on this? But I'm looking at some like 19-year-old kid going, well, and I look behind, and the line's like wrapped all the way around, and so I took it and I said thank you, and I kept going. And I said, we're really just gonna make lemonade here out of lemons. And I get home and I just start scraping the whipped cream off of my coffee, and it was awful. It was sacrilegious. It was troubling. And then I go, you know what? Today is going to be a good day. Nothing's going to get me down. And that didn't work. So, now I'm stuck with coffee that has remnants of whipped cream in it. And the day's just shot. So, anyway, that's how it is. That's how it goes. That's how, it's just. I was going for the inspiration. And I was just like, downhill from here. It's all downhill from there, right? I mean, after your morning coffee gets screwed up, you're like it's just you're done, man. There's just nothing. There's no coming back from a coffee mishap early in the morning. Nothing, whether it be a spill, the wrong order, you're not getting it, whatever. It doesn't matter. But cheers, huh? True Crime with Eve says, I did not take you for a coffee person at the lab. What kind of person did you take me for? What's wrong with coffee? I love coffee. I also like tea. I'm a bit, I like tea. I like water. Let me see, what else do I like? On occasion, milk. I like milk. I'm pretty, I'm a real boy, you know. I like it all. No, chai tea. No, I don't. I don't. There's a certain tea. It's like a passion fruit tea. One time I got from Starbucks and it literally tasted like flowers. Got to go dish up dinner before our new king makes his speech in a few minutes. Is that what's happening? Of course, I'd go on when the new king is going to give his speech. My God, unbelievable. the yeah, I don't know. I appreciate that. I'm the real king. 10-month member here. Whipped cream on coffee is sacrilegious. Emily, thank you so much for that. That is an absolute fact. Absolute fact. Just sucks. I love cream in mine. I want, or I hardly drink it without. My next is Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is good. Diet Dr. Pepper is even better. And I know what you're going to say. Josh, diet soda is worse for you than regular soda. And I don't see how that's possible. I'm not saying that diet soda is good for you. And I understand what aspartame or whatever the freak they put in there is. I understand. Okay. But there's, you can't convince me that diet soda is better for you than regular soda. I mean, I'm sure they're both terrible. But there's just no way it can be worse. I love Diet Coke. Matter of fact, I like Coke Zero. I'm a huge Coke Zero fan. I love, and when I say I love, Diet Dr. Pepper is probably one of the best diet sodas out there. Diet Dr. Pepper is good. Coke Zero, good. Diet Coke, good. Regular Coke, good. But I feel less crappy if I drink like a Coke Zero than anything else. And Mountain Dew Zero is okay. I can't drink regular Mountain Dew. I would die. I have 2 frozen Cokes a day. That seems like a lot. So that's a lot of frozen. Hero says, no, they announced delay of King speaking due to the lab gone live. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I've never tried Mountain Dew. All right. So you guys want to hear just the craziest story I've ever read in my life. Listen to this. I just listen to this title. A Catholic charity hired a man to simulate a mass shooting at their building. Great idea so far. I'm with him. Hired a man to simulate a mass shooting at their building, complete with actors covered in blood. The drill ended with his arrest. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Nothing. There's nothing that could go wrong here. It's just, I've never seen stuff like this, man. I've never heard of this. A Nebraska man hired by local authorities to simulate a mass shooting has been charged with making terroristic threats. The Omaha World Herald reported that John Channels was advised by Catholic Charities, an organization with branches across the U.S., to make the drill realistic, which he did. It says that here, which he did, complete with paid actors covered in blood. What could possibly go wrong? It's just a drill. It's just a drill, you know? Drills are great. Remember, they'd make you do the fire drills and you get out of class and then you have to go jump off that bus. I don't know if they still do that. Does anybody remember that? They put this little pad down, which is stupid because in no situation, unless who's going to show up with a pad to a bus that you have to evacuate from fast? Nobody's going to do that. It's just not going to happen. So they put this little pad there and like, oh, little kids jump. And every kid thinks it's a game, but it's not a game, but it's a drill. And we're all jumping off the bus, asking if we can have second chances, kicking each other in the shins and the balls or whatever we were doing. And, just not paying attention and loving life, oh my God, yes, a fire drill. Oh, I love fire drills, and then there's a real fire and you're like, I hate fire, and then, it's just whatever. Unfortunately, the simulation caused chaos among employees who thought the shooting was real. So here's where we really, really get off track here. And I'm going to ask the king if he can hold his speech off a little longer because we got things to talk about here. Unfortunately, the simulation caused chaos among employees who thought the shooting was real. The news outlet reported that bloodied actors laid in hallways throughout the office building. The one employee told the World Herald she heard shots behind her and jumped off a retaining wall to try and hide in a dumpster. I know it's not funny, and it's ridiculous. What? Unreal. She jumped off a retaining wall and hid in a dumpster. The incident, which occurred on May 19th, 2022, began with Channels firing at a conference room window. This is crazy. Of the office building in which employees happened to be gathered, according to the news outlet. One elderly employee told police she thought she was going to die. Quote, "This is it," she told the World Herald. Great last words. Channel's lawyer, Aaron Wetzel, told the publication that the Catholic Charities requested the 27-year-old to conduct the drill in that specific manner. Quote, "It's important to note that several of the directors went along with it, and while it was happening, they were not informing employees of what was going on, even as they were asking," Wetzel said. Oh, man. What an absolute cluster. Omaha Catholic Charities Executive Director Denise Bartle said in a statement that the group hired channels based on recommendations from respected sources. You might want to cut those sources out, by the way. You're not going to want to go back to that well of information. This is so stupid. Based upon recommendations from respected sources, and he clearly misrepresented himself and his qualifications. I can just see it's like some Paul Blart dude was like, "Yeah, I can run a simulation. You need an active shooter drill. I got you, dog." And then, you know, he's like, you probably have Dungeons and Dragons fantasy, Final Fantasy like guy with really like stringy beard and I just can't imagine him being qualified. Channel's LinkedIn page state he's a police officer for the Oftif Air Force Base in Nebraska, and that he's also the CEO of a security firm called Exosia Protection Agency. Never heard of him. Neither organization responded to insiders' requests for comment. Shocking. The Daily Beast reported law enforcement said they weren't alerted to the drill. Okay, so step one, folks, if you're going to do an active shooter drill, you would think that your local law enforcement, you might want to make them privy to what you're doing. Now, I don't know what the point of I'm not really sure what the point of doing an active shooter drill in this situation is, but you would want to tell the employees. Like that's kind of first and foremost is the employees. Like, "Hey guys, we're going to have an active shooting drill today and it's going to seem a little chaotic, but don't worry. It's all a drill." The Daily Beast reported law enforcement said they were not alerted to the drill and responded as if it were an active crime scene. So it just goes from bad to friggin' worse in a matter of like, I don't know, 2 seconds. Don Klein, the attorney for Douglas County, told the news outlet that police came. They didn't know this was happening. They thought it was a real active shooter. There were people calling 911. Local news station KMTV reported that Channels identified himself to police as an Oftit civilian police officer, Paul Blart. On Tuesday, remember this is back in May, Channels was arrested and charged with 5 counts of making terroristic threats and 1 weapons count, according to the World Herald. Wow. This isn't Channel's only run-in with the law. In May, he was arrested and charged with 3 felonies, which included first-degree essay of a child. Oh, yeah, the Catholic Charities. I'm shocked. Visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct of a child. It's just like, it's not that hard to find this stuff out. He just Googled the guy. I didn't make it this far into the article, so I didn't know that this stuff was coming, but it doesn't surprise me. It's unclear if the charity knew of his prior charges. I would really hope that they didn't know, but I would hope that they did know, if that makes any sense at all, and I'm sure it doesn't. Catholic Charities, Aaron Wetzel, the Douglas County Attorney's Office, and Omaha Police Department did not immediately respond to insiders' request for a comment. But yeah, I mean, why would you? Why would you? So, wow. Interesting. Moonlight says, I'm dumb. I thought we were going for a drive from the title. It's clickbait. No, I'm sorry. Connie says, right, nothing surprises us anymore. It is. So basically what they did was they hired a mentally ill, psychotic pedophile, for lack of a better term. And I think that pedophile really hits the nail on the head with a hammer there, to do an active shooter. So this charity was trying to do something proactive, and then they did everything not proactive. And wow. Hey, all listen. Listen from Crabbing Doc phone, Danger Zone. Great show. Thank you so much. Clicked us. Yeah, I did. I clickbaited you guys. I did. I'm sorry about that. My opinion, he needs to be booted out of school at that age. He is up to no good. Who? This guy. This was a guy that was hired. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure he could have got kicked out of school too. I'm sure he did get kicked out of school. I mean, he sounds like he sucks. It doesn't just sound like he sucks. He does. This is it's just insane. You guys want a deck of 5? Yeah for Friday. All right. That is a Friday drop exclusive. The deck of 5. Deck of 5. Yeah. I thought based on the title that you had lost your mind. Morning drive is just a radio thing. I'm not driving anywhere. It's just like, yeah, I'm not one of those YouTubers that like walks around with my phone live streaming stuff. If I do a live stream, like I'm going to do it from my studio. But that's just me. I'm not a now that I come to think of it, now that this is a great point. This is an absolute great point. I never thought of this. In the title, it says morning drive. Let me see here. What is the title? Morning drive with the lab. Okay, so it would insinuate that I was going to go drive somewhere while live streaming to you. Okay, I get it now. Morning drive is a radio term. Wow, okay, that makes sense. I'm sorry. No, we are not going for a drive. I'm not taking my phone for a drive. Yeah, and this is another Good point. Yeah, I have. And it's not, I haven't ran over. I've hit. It's a difference. There's a difference. See, we got somebody driving while they're listening. If you're driving somewhere, God dang it. More clickbait from the lab. It's terrible. I look, okay. I got it. I got it. I'm sorry. If you ever see a morning drive, okay, so just don't expect me to live stream my me driving somewhere. It's just not. It's not part of my. It's just not in my DNA to do something like that. Why? I don't know. Does Otis like the car? He's starting to. He never really used to. He used to get scared in the car and pee. I've heard the term or similar on other radio shows on the way to work. I wasn't fooled by the bait. And it was vicious. It was malicious clickbait, and I should have never used a drive to entice people to watch me drive somewhere. Never. Funny because I thought Rush Limbaugh and me driving and listening because I thought I do not sound like Rush Limbaugh. Diamond Paw, this is a good question, and we can talk about this a little bit. I sometimes wonder, like, I get like that it was a mistake. It's a mistake, and people. So when we think of cops and we think of investigators and we think of all that kind of stuff, like people aren't perfect, and while that is a fairly big mistake to make, I think that there is always mistakes that happen, especially overly publicized kinds of things. Tilly says, do you feel like we're getting too much information these days about crimes too soon? Yeah, we're in the instant information age. But it sucks, because we are so hypercritical of people that we expect cops or investigators or whatever to be perfect, and it is a mistake. There's no denying that it's a mistake, and it's just it sucks. But then we get in, we stand tall in our ivory towers and go, well, law enforcement should and law enforcement. When you're saying law enforcement, you're talking about very specific people. And I don't know. I don't know. I believe that this is going to be an accident. I believe that they're going to say that this is an accident. Sometimes there's good reason to be critical, particularly when the job at hand is critical. Well, yeah, I mean, you can word it however you want, but the fact of the matter is people are human. People are human, mistakes are made. Um, I'm sure in every single case that there are some sort of mistake that is made. It's just not overly is this a big mistake? Sure. Absolutely, it's a big mistake. I'm sure that wasn't an intentional thing. I mean, I don't know how many times that they've had these kinds of cases, and I think that a lot of these times these local sheriff's departments get made or get put in a situation where they've never been in before. Mistake: they did not find her car in the water. Broke her window during the recovery. Put handprints, fingerprints on her vehicle steering the wheel. Now did not recover evidence. Well, Cobalt, I would disagree. They may not have found her car, but somebody did. Somebody did. Somebody found the car. The car was found. I don't know anything about pulling a car out of water. I don't know. I don't know what the process is. So it's just hard for me to speculate on that one. Let me see here. Being human, that's no excuse. It kind of is. I mean, it's not an excuse. It is what it is. I mean, who's I mean, we've all had jobs and work jobs and made mistakes. I get that these investigators, the attention to detail is the key. That's what they're supposed to do. I understand that. I'm just, I'm forgive me if my outrage isn't, through the ceiling. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So I'm just not over, I don't know. I guess I just look at it different. I don't know. It sucks, no doubt. It absolutely is a terrible thing. I just think, look, there are other channels out there trying to get minors on their show, and whatever, I just I saw was somebody was saying that this young man Jagger was wanting to talk to Upchurch, and that Dolly was going to facilitate the meeting or whatever. And I can't express to everybody involved how bad of an idea that would be. Especially the 17-year-old boy. I may be a stick in the mud that way, but I just don't see anything beneficial coming out of that. I just don't. Run, young man. Run for the hills. Run. Just run. Old enough to drink and drive, though. I don't know. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Got a timer on. I've got a timer on. I can't wait for Don Wells to get out of jail. God, I wish he would really just stay in there forever, but you know. Let me see. It's really sad, in my opinion, when YouTube creators start making a mockery of a missing person, child. In this case, that ends up being deceased. It actually sickens me. I'm so glad you do not do that, Josh. Look, I get accused of that too. I get accused of that kind of stuff all the time too. I really do. Um, I don't feel that that's what I do. I don't even particularly talk about, you know, the Summer Wells case was kind of has been an anomaly for me. I've never covered a case like it. I've never been more infuriated by a case. Um, Amber times two, old enough. What does old enough mean? What is that? I don't understand what you mean by that. Old enough. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I try, I don't know. Like I'm no different. I'm no different. I cover a lot of the same stories and um, I understand the hypocrisy that goes, because I have taken such a hard stance in the Summer Wells case and have speculated to the moon and back in that case. The difference to me, and maybe it's not the difference to you. Maybe it's not the difference to you, but to me, I'm not bashing people that don't have any kind of record that I know of. Um, Don Wells and Candace Wells are special kind to me, and it it infuriates me what they do, what they've done with their children, and how they've hindered this investigation since day one. So that to me is, the difference. So, but I do understand the hypocrisy. I do understand people that criticize. And when I went on Dolly's show the other day, and by the way, I like Dolly. I think he's a nice guy. He's fine. I don't think we should be talking to kids, but he can do whatever he wants. It's his channel, and whatever. We're all responsible for ourselves, and I just don't think that it's a good idea. But I'm not the end all be all, and that's just my personal opinion. However, when I went on there the other day, and by the way, I could tell almost immediately, most, 90% of the people there, that was not my crowd. Um, but I went on there, and he always lets me up and talk, and is always very courteous to me. And like I said, he's a pretty nice guy. People can think of whatever they want, and I don't really care what anybody thinks, but about him. But Well, then you're not. I mean, Amber, do you think I'm just making stuff up, Amber? Like, do you really like? Do you think I just made that up out of nowhere? I mean, do you watch him? Do you, have you seen his last community post? Just because you haven't heard it doesn't mean it didn't happen. It happened. It happened. So I don't know what you mean. It was a very prominent thing yesterday. People were talking about it constantly. I'm just like, okay. And I feel that it's a bad idea. That's it. Felt like it's a bad idea. I feel like it is a bad idea. But, he let me up to talk on his show, and which was really nice, and then I did, and I went with I thought yeah, I just thought it was a bad idea. But anyway, I went on there and I presented that I thought that it was an accident, and immediately I'm a moron and an idiot, and whatever. And then but they did ask me, or Dolly asked me, said, well, how did she get in the back seat? I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. And it's hard for me to speculate on that because I don't know anything about like those kind of accident scenes, or I just don't know. No clue. And I said it would be hard for me to even speculate. And then somebody in the chat says, well, the guy's covered the Summer Wells case for over a year and now he doesn't want to speculate. And that's not what I said. I said I wouldn't even know how to speculate about it because I don't know anything about crashes. The lab. I'm interested in your comment the other day where you said there is no true crime community. Is that your belief? Um, yeah, yes and no, it is. I don't know if there is a true crime community or not. I know that there are a bunch of different people that cover true crime and exclusively true crime, and I'm not one of those people, but I think I think that for the most part, I think that most things have gotten out of hand. But when I criticize, it comes off from a point of like we're so hard on law enforcement, but then we're not hard on each other. And I think that this quote unquote true crime community is just not really something that you know I won't even type my thoughts in here again. I won't ever type my thoughts in here again. Bet on that again. Sorry. I should have thought before I typed. It just wasn't a thought. You were just saying that you hadn't seen where he did, and I had clearly seen it. So it comes off from a point like you're saying, well, the way that I interpret it was um I haven't seen I haven't seen him say anything like that. Like almost like I was making something up, but that, that's not not really the point. So you have nothing to apologize for. I was just like, come on. Da, da, da. I don't consider myself anything. So no, I don't consider myself a documentarian. No. Not at all. And I think I know who you are, ghost face, gold plates, old truths, more cake. I certainly do. The experts who found her, so I believe they know what they saw. Of course, it could just be wrong and just an accident. With all odd things, I can't help but to lean towards a crime. Well, honestly, there's absolutely no reason for that. It really did just come off like you were saying, well, that's how I took it. So I misunderstood it. And I'm sorry. I it's not. Yeah, yeah, it's fine. I apologize too. I apologize too. I'd be crying all spring, summer, fall, and winter if one of my kids were missing. So sad. Yeah, me too. Me too. It's pretty rough stuff, But once again, Amber times two. I'm sorry that getting upset. Uh Sorry that was chopped up, but the experts who found her think it's a crime, and I believe they know what they saw, but we could be wrong. Yeah, I mean, I don't, I'm, I don't want to. I don't want to say anything. I don't know about them, what they know, what they don't know. I know that it takes special investigators to be able to determine something like that. It would be very I think it would be, I don't know. I think it would be hard to even be able to tell right away, but I don't know anything. So it doesn't matter what I think. I can taste the whipped cream. I can, I'm not kidding. I can taste the whipped cream in my coffee. And it sucks. I hate it. I can absolutely taste the coffee. Still have to, okay, I still have to watch your podcast about your opinion and think you're very intelligent. I'm sorry you misunderstood me. I'm terrible at this. I'm sorry for taking it that way. Sometimes I I I really try to say things that I know are fact, and then if they're not fact, then I try to say I'm only speculating here. That's what I try that, or I say that a lot. And so, sometimes I feel like, when people do that, they just are like, what are you talking about? So sometimes I do take it that way. So I don't, that's just not something that I mean to do. Or um, how's Otis smelling? He always smells. He sucks too. No need to be nasty to because you lean towards accident. This case has gotten so outrageous with speculation, and those teens shouldn't be talking to these sharks on YouTube. I know. It really does suck, man. I love pumpkin pie, but I don't like. I mean, pumpkin. I don't know. It's been a while since I've had a PSL. That's right. I said PSL. You heard me. You heard me. PSL. So stupid. Rusty Orsley says, I wish you would have been up and running during the Barry Morphew case. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, your view on that guilty man. He's guilty as sin. He's guilty as sin. Barry Morphew is guilty. I've covered it a little bit. It's not a PSO, it's a PSL. Pumpkin spice latte for the uninitiated. Yeah, he's a very guilty human. He's a very bad guy. Very. I've never ever heard PSL. So when I was doing, I worked at this place for 10 years, and I had a bunch of employees just come and go, and most of them were college kids, because it was just really part-time work. And one of the things that I would make them do is I would send them out for coffee. And I remember the first time, I can't remember which girl it was, but she said, when I sent her out, I said, can you have them put a little pumpkin in it? Because it was pumpkin season, like it is. It is absolutely pumpkin season. And she says, you want a PSL? And I said, what's that? And she said, oh, it's like what the basic people, she said basic bees, but we don't talk like that here, not on this show. But yeah, she said that that's what basic bees
Don't say any F's and stuff.
would call. And I said, first of all, I said, I didn't even know what a basic bee was. And then she said, well, this is what a basic bee is. It's when, you wear sweats with Uggs and drink PSLs. And I was like, I never knew this. I never knew of this ever. And I'm fascinated by what you just said. So anyway, I learned that day what a basic, bee was. And I don't know if I've ever met one in real life, but nor did I know that they exist. But yeah. And I told her to watch her language and go get my coffee. Cause it was you would think that you would have more in common with like 19, 20-year-old kids, but you don't. Like and I was in my 30s, and there were just years between us, meaning how do I say this? Like, although there may be 10, 12 years difference between me and, at the time, my employees, uh we had almost nothing in common to talk about, which was fine because I was their boss. But I mean, to even have any resemblance of a conversation would turn into things like that, PSLs and basic Bs. And, I was just like, wow, this is all super new information. And then there was this other, there was a young man who worked for me, and like he was just like an adrenaline junkie, and I was always trying to he was a good worker. I was just always trying to get him to calm down. And I swear to God, one day this man, he wasn't a man, he was a kid. He was very hyper, and I really ran the place loose, and shocker. But what he did was, I was sitting against the counter, and I have the video of it somewhere, and I'll have to show you, but he liked to run up and kind of like football players do, the Chad move when they jump up and they bump against you. And that's what he did. He ran up, he would do that all the time. And he was smaller than me, so it wasn't really a big deal. And usually he would just bounce right off of me like a rubber ball against a brick wall. And I was standing, we had these counters up. We had the counters, there were glass counters, wooden with, encased counters with merchandise in them. And he came running over to me one day. What is the male equivalent? A Chad. I know that one. Chads are big time. But anyway, he jumps up. I'm leaning against the counter talking to somebody, and he comes up and he runs up and he bumps into me. Boom. And I bounce him off of me, but I'm leaning against the counter, and the counter starts to go, like it just tips back. And then I lost my balance. I felt the counter going out behind me, and I fell. The counter tipped over. It all had, like, on a security camera. It happened in front of a security camera, and that's all she wrote. So, I have young kids. Well, they're not young anymore, but so I relate to them. But yeah, it was a nightmare. It was crazy. And I remember, if you guys listen to the podcast, my buddy Lucas, who, by the way, and don't let this guy tell you any different, he had the easiest job in the world. Can you imagine working for your best friend? Imagine working for your best friend. I mean, he could do no wrong. Even though he did all wrong, he could do no wrong. But he was just standing there like normal and just watched the whole thing happen, and his eyes got huge. And yeah, I thought that was funny, but not really. It actually hurt. Not a good look, boss. Well, I mean, my store. I can do whatever I want. But yeah, I'm sure that was a yes. And that became an issue sometimes too, when people would go, well, he's your favorite. And I go, he's not my favorite. He's just my best friend. I would make him do stuff. No, I would make him do stuff. I'd tell him to do stuff. And then if he did it, he did it. If he didn't, he didn't. And then, I guess that's, it's good to be king. So, he benefited from that. Big deal. My boyfriend told me I'm old, 36, so my toenails are automatically talons. Okay, folks, it's official. I'm an idiot. How do I find the Patreon site? I've been at this for a half an hour. Lost again. Your name. Your name is proud of you. I laugh when you told the story of having lunch on a trash can out back. Yeah. Yeah. That was a good one. I met so many weird people, over the years, employing people, being in charge of people. It's just a terrible thing. And I hated it with a passion. I liked the people. I liked trying to, that's why, we hired the younger. It was just because it was just a part-time gig, and a lot of them were in college. So it was fun, but dude, I saw that like I learned what like polyamorous was. I had no idea that was a thing. I remember when somebody told me, he says, I'm polyamorous. I go, what's that? And then he explains to me. And if you don't know what it is, it's somebody that is just in an open relationship, and then the other person's in an open relationship, and it's just a disgusting free for all type situation. And, I don't want to go into it anymore, but he says, oh yeah, I'm poly. And I said, Nesian? And he goes, no, polyamorous. And I said, I don't know what that means. And he goes, well, I'm engaged. I said, to a girl? And he says, yeah. And I said, well, where's your fiance? And he says, she's backpacking with her boyfriend. And I said, I thought you were her boyfriend. He says, no, I'm her fiance. And I looked at him and I said, go back to work. Just go back to work. And don't ever talk to me about anything other than work stuff again. I also saw this same guy would eat out of the trash can. So he'd eat out of the trash can. He let his fiance go on hiking trips with her boyfriend, or with her boyfriend, and was like totally cool about it. And I'm like, this world isn't for me. This world isn't for me, folks. Please don't talk to me anymore, weird guy. Lab, do you ever wonder, I do, why people are so obsessed with Kylie Rodney case, yet there is Jocelyn Fuentes who vanished, both her and her car, and there has been almost zero continuous coverage. I don't no, I don't wonder why. I think that I have an idea why. And this is very topical, when the Queen, God rest the Queen, passed away yesterday, and I know nothing about the royal family. I didn't watch the royal weddings. I don't even know her name. Oh, no, I do. It's Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. Okay, so I do know something about the royal family. But I do remember when Princess Diana died, and it turned into an absolute mockery. Um, just an absolute mockery. The conspiracies, the innuendos, the speculations, the you know, I was 12 years old when this happened. I remember watching I was watching TV, and it, I remember it was a show that I really enjoyed, and I got interrupted by this special news break. Oh, Princess Di, and I didn't even know who she was. I was 12 years old, and I didn't even, I had no clue who she was. No clue. All I knew was that my TV was interrupted. And so I went to change the channel. And every single channel that I changed it to was it was covering the same thing. Princess Diana, Princess Diana, Princess Diana. And I was just like, I don't even know who she is. And I just remember for the next, I don't know, 5 years. What, 5 years? Just the National Enquirer, New York Post, New York Times, every single tabloid magazine that you could ever think of. It was anarchy. And the paparazzi chased that poor woman everywhere. And so it's unfortunately, it's human nature. That's a very unfortunate thing. And it was like, well, her husband had her killed. The same stuff that like always happens. It was her husband. She was having an affair. He was having an affair. I don't know if that's true or not. Never cared to find out. Still don't care to find out. But that's what it was. It was just a very constant thing. And so I think that it is in the nature of humans to speculate and think the worst right away. I just think that is just a normal. Okay, well, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I have no clue. Um, Hello, Josh. Assume you're talking about Princess Diana. I just got in, but she did write in her notes in her journal that she was afraid he would have her killed. Charles would have her killed. I mean, yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I believe you. I just don't know. But from everything that I've ever read about her or heard about her, she just seemed like a very classy, beautiful lady. And what they did to her in the media, and it was crazy. Now, a lot of that goes along with being in the royal family, in the spotlight, in the, you know, I mean, your royalty, for God's sakes. So, um, so no, I think that this kind of stuff's just been going on forever. The OJ thing, the OJ thing. Way to simplify that. The OJ thing. When OJ brutally murdered his wife and Mr. Goldman, um, once again, like, so unrest and speculation and all these things are in our nature. They're in our nature, but I think that there's a lot of things in our nature that probably aren't. That doesn't mean that it's a good thing, which then leads you to the thoughts of, well, why is it in our nature then? But that could be said for almost anybody with any kind of interesting quirk. But gossip, speculation, they are in our nature. It's just part of who we are. It's part of who we are, and it's always going to be part of who we are. So, I think, and I hope, and I pray that, look, would I don't know. I wouldn't even want to talk to him, to the kids. To me, it's not even tempting. It's just not even tempting to me because I think it just brings more harm than good. It's okay. It's okay. I feel the same way. It's terrible. Can I post my I don't even know what that is. Am I supposed to know what that is? I don't know what that is. I'm looking it up right now. Okay. Anger. It's in the Cambridge English Dictionary. Got it. I thought I was supposed to know what that meant, but I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that meant. Always run against traffic. I think that's sound advice. I think it is. Till issue was. So anyway, like I said, it's like anything else. I mean, the more attention that it's given, the more that it grows. Like, it's like when you have a kid and you feed it and make the child go to bed, they're going to grow, and it needs nourishment. And this, what is more salacious than, a it's not, first of all, this is not 90210. This is not 90210. This isn't a TV show. So that's where the disconnect with me comes in, because I get it. Dawson's Creek, 90210, Party of Five, blah blah blah, Young and the Restless, oh, Old and the Content. I think that we believe that these things are more, for lack of a better term, fascinating, because our lives aren't that fascinating. J-Lo too. It's not off topic. It's actually on topic, because, yeah, I mean, why do you think that Hollywood has made trillions off of drama? Yeah, that's the opposite of Young and the Restless. And by the way, nobody would watch that show. Nobody would watch the show Old and Content. If you put up a show, you got Young and the Restless. Oh man, it's good to be young. Rah, rah, rah. And then, at the same time, Old and Content is running. It would be like a 90-10 rating. It would be like nobody's going to watch the Old and Content when Young and the Restless is on. I don't care what you say. Tilly, you might watch it after the Young and the Restless. I'm not saying that you wouldn't watch it, but like, I'm Old and the Restless. Or no, I'm Old and the Restless. That would suck. Now that would be a terrible show, because I've seen that show. It's called Grumpier Old Men. My show's Old and the Content, and then you have people that entertain this stuff, and people get so weird about it. They're like, I'm so infuriated, and there's a crime here, from people who have absolutely no idea if there is a crime here. Nobody knows if there's a crime. There could be, there could not be. It's still up in the air. Yeah. The old and the crotchety. Grumpier Old Men did okay at the box office. Yeah, it did actually. I'm sure it was a good movie. Yeah, Miss Enigma, Golden Girls. So, to my point, Blanche, that little devil. Everybody liked Blanche because she was a party girl. And then you had I forget the main character's name, but she was kind of like a stick in the mud. But Blanche was like all about it. That was Blanche's Friday night. You know what I mean? She was about it. My favorite part of the Golden Girls was the intro song. Thank you for being a friend, traveling down the road and back again. That was legit. I thought that the theme song was really good, but I also like the theme song from the Jeffersons. I like the Jeffersons too, but I really like just I like the intro. I loved the intro. But yeah, Blanche was tight. She was cool. Mm. Yeah, I think yeah. Rose and Dorothy, they were kind of the sticklers. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. Thank you for being a friend. Hits every time. Hits every time. I like the Welcome Back Cotter song myself. All in the Family. We're going pop culture here, folks. We're going. I have one of those at home. Oh man, that deserves a deca. Yeah, that's hilarious. That is too good. That is so funny. I have one of those at home.
Grandpa Joe, man, that guy's the worst. The best.
That's a fact. That is a fact, Grandpa Joe. We've talked about him. Let's see here. Lana, been a member for 9 months. Great channel, Josh. Thank you, Lana, for being a member for 9 months. Very, very much appreciated. Make sure to hit that like button if you have not. Share, tell a friend. Thank you for being a friend. But I'm not done yet. We are dating ourselves. Well, I knew a guy who let his fiance date other people all the time. He's cool with it too. And he ate out of the trash can. He was a real winner, that one. Connie, Pauline, thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. I think I was more upset. When Betty White died than our queen. However, that's so sad. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is sad. Terrible. No, I know. I was just kidding. Can somebody help Lost again? And there is cool. I think there's a Otis Halloween shirt out there now that was just designed. And Lana, thank you for the $3 super sticker. Mary in the house. What's up, Mary? How are you? Good to see you. Love Mary. Can somebody help Lost again? She's lost. Yep. She certainly is. But she's about to be found. Was blind, but now I see. Through grace I taught my heart to fear. And grace. Well, Josh, you have a wonderful channel and mods. Thank you. Absolutely. Was blind, but now I see. Yeah, Mary, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? Found it. Mary, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's not right. I don't think it's morning anymore. Is it? Maybe it is. I don't know where everybody is. Goes my whipped cream coffee. Yeah, I'm having corn dogs. That's true. I can taste the whipped cream. But I got I don't have any other coffee, so it is what it is. I could taste the whipped cream. Yeah, I thought I got it all, but I could. It's just like, but it's not whipped cream anymore. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's the whipped cream, but it's not even nice. It's not like I'm struggling here. I love pickles. I love pickles. It's like there's like, yeah, it's like kind of like I don't want to be, it's not. There's just a film. It's just the whipped cream film. I hate it. It sucks. That's how I describe things now. Is when I don't like something, it just sucks. But it's all I have. And I'm not gonna let some overzealous whipped cream peddler ruin my day. I really, at this point, I couldn't tell you. Oh man. Down the hatchet, brother. I'd like to forget about that. I'd like to forget about that. Yeah, dude, she's a whipped cream peddler. She couldn't help herself. Who puts whipped cream on a friggin' Americano? I've never heard of such a thing. I've never heard of such a thing. That sucks. Sucks. I don't even like saying it. I just want to get it out. Sucks. Hey, what do you think of whipped cream on your coffee? Sucks. What do you think about whipped cream on pancake? It's good. What do you think about whipped cream on any beverage? Sucks. You don't even have to say it. It just sucks. Sucks. Do you like whipped cream? Sucks. Oh my God. Guys, it happened. We're getting a. Do we have a Deca? Yeah. I don't know if we have a Deca. Yeah or not. Ba, ba, ba. We got a new member. We got a new member. Yeah, 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 yeah. The last one was. Does anybody remember Little John? Like I don't know if he was a rapper or producer or whatever, but he'd always goes, yeah, yeah. Like he would constantly do that. And then Dave Chappelle took like did a skit about him and it was hilarious. Yeah, 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 yeah. Lost again is found again. That's right. Welcome to the lab. What do we got here? Lana says, I'm dealing with the investigation of my son's death. It was a hit run. Having a hard time knowing that they didn't arrest the guy that came forward the next day. That's crazy. I'm sorry. I really am. It's terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it. I like ice cream in my hot chocolate. How does that work? I really want to know how does that work? There's no way that works, right? That's right. Congratulations on your membership lost again. Hot chocolate and cold ice cream. I mean, how you've never had a frozen hot chocolate? What the hell is a frozen hot chocolate? A frozen hot chocolate? How does that work? It's an oxymoron. I use ice cream in my coffee when I'm out. Well, yeah, okay, I could see that. That I understand. What is a frozen? What is a frozen hot chocolate? So what would be the opposite of a frozen hot chocolate? It would be an unfrozen cold chocolate. An unfrozen cold chocolate. Yeah, I'll let them cover what they want to cover. Not really. Yeah, it's I don't want to yeah, I couldn't imagine. You can order them from Serendipity. Ever had a hot fudge sundae? Yeah, I've had a hot fudge sundae, but I've never had a frozen hot chocolate. I've never had that. Okay, I've been hearing about a cake called Better Than Sex. Think I will make one on my next video. Anyone had it before? I heard it was good. No. You should rename it though. Look, I I think it's nothing's gonna come out of that. and to report on it so aggressively, it's not something that I'm going to do. You know, like I said, people can do whatever they want, but people, it's just like, if they thought that there was a summer sighting, don't you think that the FBI would be all over it? That emails from between YouTubers and I just, I don't, it just don't, I don't believe any of it anymore. You know, you get your hopes up and time after time, it fails to turn out to be anything. And I doubt that this situation is any different. Hi, Danielle. Good to see you. Give me 1 second. All right. So anyway, any hope is better than none, in my opinion, but it's so hard. Words can't express. I mean, I guess, but the letdown is, to me, just personally, is tragic. Um, I hate that. That's for sure. Well, if you missed the beginning of the show, got off to a little rough start with the coffee situation, but I am liking this morning show. I'm enjoying the casualness of it, and the it's very, very soothing, I guess. Although I did hurt somebody's feelings earlier, and I hope that they're still around. I do feel bad about that still. So anyway, fan of the morning shows. I am too. Thank you. Me too. Yeah, they're interesting for sure. Yeah, well, they're afternoon. They're morning shows for me. Otis is doing good since he got sprayed by his skunk. Exclusively, yes. I love iced coffee. Guys, I want to thank you so much for being here. It's been a absolute blast talking with you. And hope you guys enjoyed the little morning show.
Blazing the steel. Bring the heat. Mix it non-stop. With the hottest DJ.
I'm your host, Joshua Diaz.
Non-stop.
Thank you guys for being here. Thanks a lot.